Yeah.
Do you guys like how we place this down right with the spot and move it up? It took a lot of idiots work to make sure this was ready. The water's getting kind of high tech.
He's like filming us, filming him.
Wow, look at this. We got all along it here.
Smile. What the hell? That's kind of awesome.
And the Hanson police report to Bradley Brooks.
Woo! This is burning my feet, let me tell you. Seriously.
Mr. Isaac Hanson, would you please report to Bradley Brooks?
Yes, I'm coming, sorry.
What an awesome walk it is here in Asheville! We like to take a minute during our walks, find ourselves kind of halfway to just, for once, say thank you and talk a little bit about why we do this. First of all, thank you. You guys are amazing. You know, when we started the walks, the idea began with having a personal realization about our own walk, our own journey as a band. We were lucky enough to be in Africa a little bit during the making of this album, and amazingly, we as individuals have gotten to see the world. We've gotten to see poverty. We've gotten to see people that are struggling and understand the bigger picture. But you always find yourself thinking, well, I don't have the best idea. I don't have enough to really make a difference. Even when you're staring at kids that are struggling with disease, struggling with poverty, you think, well, this is really not something I can make an impact on. And as we were making this album, we all came back and we sat and listened to this music that we got to record while we were in Africa. And we realized that we were just part of the crowd that was waiting. We were part of the crowd that was asking, well, somebody else is going to do it, and then I'll know what I can do. But meanwhile, we are the army of hope. We're the army of change. When we decide to show up, when we decide to use what we have, and it's no joke. You guys don't have to be here. You don't have to show up early. You don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to follow 3 crazy guys with megaphones that almost get you killed walking across the street. But you did! One of the things that we've done on these walks, we've talked about taking your shoes off. We do that for a couple of reasons. One is, everybody needs a little bit of a reminder about the things that we take for granted, the things that we think don't make a difference. When we started the walk tour, it began and has continued to be a partnership. One of the things that we've done is partner with a shoe company called Tom's. Anybody have Tom's shoes here?
Oh, that's way too soon.
Tom's is a great example for us because they did say one day when we're successful, we can give back and make a difference with our company, and they said, you know what, today we sell shoes, we can give shoes. Every pair of shoes you buy from Tom's, they said we're going to donate a second pair. And when we heard about that, we were intoxicated with this idea that we could each have a tangible example, this physical thing that we could see, you know what, I'm wearing these shoes, and this means a pair of shoes is donated. When we started these walks, we thought, if we could just help Tom's, if we could introduce the idea of a pair of shoes, if we could introduce the idea of one song, download, 99-cent download, making an impact, then think what other things that we could do. We said, let's help Tom's donate over 50,000 pairs of shoes. When we started out on the walks last September, we thought that was just a crazy idea. But since September, we said, today is our 66th mile. Since September, we've helped Tom's so over 50,000 pairs of shoes to be donated one by one. And this is not a few shoes that were bought by a rich guy. Somebody bought 1,000, somebody bought a few hundred. These are 50,000. Many of you guys have bought a pair, maybe about 2 pairs, maybe about 3 pairs. One by one, just like the walk, just like showing up. This individual action that seems simple, walking a mile, becomes this crowd of people that are a force to be reckoned with. Each of us has to have that push. We each need that reminder that this is not, that this is not about having the perfect answer. This is about all of us looking at what we have, looking at the tools that we have available to us. Look at all these cameras. Look at all these cameras. Let me show you a camera. She's got a camera. Another thing about shoes and talking about that, when we started off talking about shoes, we said let's help Tom's get 50,000 pairs of shoes. It's really easy to feel like this is not a big enough deal. Like you're going to give a pair of shoes to somebody. In November, we made the trip back to Africa to deliver the shoes that we said we would. And we sat in schools and orphanages and villages, and we sat and put these shoes on kids' feet one at a time. And when you look at, I have a 5-year-old son, and I think about sitting here with, we sat here with little kids, 5, 3, 8 years old. You know, they walk 10 kilometers a day, both directions, just to get to school. And you're standing there holding this little foot, this little calloused foot that you think, this looks like an 80-year-old foot. This is a 5-year-old. This is a kid that has no concept of something new. And he looks back at you and says, the first time he's ever been given something brand new, just for him. The first time he's ever been handed something that was a gift. And here we are walking a mile going, I don't know if I want to take my shoes off. What's going on in Africa is something that none of us have to be a part of facing. In fact, it's phenomenal to me to see there's so many things that we can be a part of making a difference within our own hometown, in our own backyard. But if you look at what's going on in Africa, you've got 12 million kids without families because of AIDS. And what that means is that those kids have either been born with a disease, or and their parents have died, or they simply are orphaned by the disease and their parents have passed away. Can you imagine the idea of 12 million kids without families? Just imagine what that does to a country, to a continent. That's the equivalent of New York City and all the surrounding boroughs being all orphaned. Just to give your perspective. But the thing to keep in mind with this, again, is we're not walking for guilt. We're not trying to tell you guys, oh, there's all this terrible stuff happening and why aren't we making a difference? The reason we're walking is because everybody feels like they can't really make a difference, like they don't have a role to play. And this generation, we're the most underestimated generation. We have everything available to us, and no one expects us to really, truly make an impact. And let me tell you something, 50,000 shoes, that's a lot of shoes, okay? You guys, we've seen thousands of people walk with us over and over and over, and the ideas that you guys come back with, every person here has a different reason for walking. Maybe you just showed up at a show and we're like, oh, a crowd of people, wow, okay. But we are ready to follow you guys. We are ready to follow any one of you that says, look, this is my walk, this is my passion, this is the thing that I can use to make a difference. The walk is about the fact that we are a generation that is underestimated, a generation that has more capacity to make a difference, especially across the ocean in a place like Africa, where there are millions of kids that are saying, you know what, I cannot help myself, I cannot make a difference for myself, you can make a difference for my future. And maybe, if we stand up as a group of people and look at the world's greatest challenges, we might actually be able to turn around and look at our own hometown and ask questions about what's going on in our own backyard. You guys are amazing for showing up and following us this far. So I want to ask again those that maybe were kind of unsure about taking the shoes off. I want to invite you guys to take your shoes off and walk the rest of this half mile with us. It's not going to be that bad, I promise. You can wash them off later. We're so honored to see you guys join us, and we have another rest of this mile to go. So I say we finish it up. You guys ready to finish this mile?